A few days ago, Karl Rove came out and took a shot at Mamdani. These are his words. Trump is looking at it in the national picture and saying, if New York has a Democratic Socialist mayor, and if you had one in Minneapolis, for example, we can run against them in the 2026 midterms. Then he says, say, look, here's what the new Democratic Party is all about. It's about free everything, democratic socialists, blah, 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 blah. Later on in this diatribe, Rove also says, look, it works for him because he is the front runner and this allows him to eat up time. It leaves his opponents trying to catch up with him. He's talking about Mamdani there as well. And then he says, his final remark that the Hill notes is, the way to shake it up is to find a way to say, I'm the normal Democrat who can actually run this place, and that guy over there is extreme. So I talked before about how Mamdani's campaign is so interesting because maybe 10, 20, 30% of it is like actually policy based, right? The opposition to him. Oh, all the billionaires are going to leave the city if you tax them more. You know, that's the kind of stuff where I could see at least us having a possible dialogue that would be congruent to a civilized, reasonable discussion. But Rove's commentary makes no goddamn sense. Like, you're going to tell me that, I mean, literally, he says nothing. And if people don't believe he said this, I will link the article. Trump is going to say, in reference to Mamdani and this guy from Minnesota, Feta, however you pronounce his last name, that the new Democratic Party is all about free everything, blah, 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 blah. I was like, who the hell is proposing free everything? What are they, like, what? But the other part of this, and this is where we kind of go back to, like, I've been claiming before that Adams and Cuomo are just weak candidates. Like, think about this. Mamdani is a guy who has never held any, New York City is the largest city, right? So you're talking about a guy who's never held like any real major office in terms of congressman, senator. You're talking about someone going from being unknown to possibly becoming the mayor of the largest city in America. And part of it is because he's actually a substantive candidate who is seen as being fresh and different from the trash they've had before. But the other part of it is that no one is excited to stick with the corrupt mayor or the corrupt governor, the corrupt predator governor. Like, no one's excited to re-embrace these disgraced politicians. And then you have Rove talking about they need to find a way to say, I'm the normal Democrat who can actually run this place, and that guy over there is extreme. Well, hell, if Adams can run New York so effectively, why the hell did he need Trump to get him out of his legal troubles? If he's so interested in running the city properly, why did his own party kick him to the curb? Are all the Democratic voters socialist? Are we all Venezuela? Has Cuba sent in agents to replace our brains with minds of a autocratic government? I mean, like, this is so dumb. But again, the main point here is that when you look at Trump's career, because Trump really shouldn't even be a factor in this race, honestly, right? He doesn't even affiliate with New York anymore. And while Mamdani's tenure will overlap with Trump's presidency, it still is not really like that big of a, like, he's not that much of a factor in New York anymore. But if you were to think about this, Cuomo was governor of New York when Trump became president the first time, and Adams was mayor of New York during Trump's return to power. So if you wanted to do a guilt by association, oh my God, you're giving us Trump or you're helping Trump, you could argue that they were part of that positioning. I mean, let's not forget that after the disgrace of Cuomo, Hochul, the current governor, only won a term of her own by 7 points in New York, one of the supposed, bluest states out of any of them. And when you're talking about Adams, again, this is a guy that his own party rejected. They kicked him to the curb. I mean, it's ludicrous. But you know what? I'm glad that there are polls now where Mamdani is leading. I'm not going to say, oh, it's wrapped up because we don't know what's going to happen. This is a positive sign that they're so afraid of him. I just think it's sad that, because New York is an important city. It's one of the most important cities in America by virtue of how many people live there. And instead of addressing the actual problems of the people that are in that city, I'm hearing about democratic socialists, free everything. This other person is too extreme. You know, all this rhetoric that has nothing to do with making anyone's life better. But again, this is why American politics, and more specifically, American commentators and politicians, at least in the current era, by and large, are just a complete waste of space. Like, after this race, the best thing that Cuomo and Adams can do, besides, you know, paying for their crimes, you know, via being imprisoned or going through a court of law, is to simply never run for office again. They will be doing every single person in New York, and by extension America, a favor if after losing this race, they just sit on their couches for the rest of their lives. Oh, and if Rove didn't go on TV again, you know, that would be nice too. But we already know what Trump, I don't agree with him on much, but he warned us about Rove.
When you see rhinos, Karl Rove, Bill Barr, or Paul Ryan on your television screen, just turn to a different station or turn it off. Turn off that set as fast as you can. You're frankly better off watching Democrats. They are the worst.